organization that supports those with developmental disabilities is marking a milestone in its 50th anniversary. Reena was established in 1973 by a small group of parents looking to provide better support systems for children and adults with developmental disabilities. Now, since its inception, Reena has opened 2 intentional community residences with targeted and dedicated support for children and adults of all ages, and currently operates 32 group homes. The organization says it is currently supporting over 1,000 people in a variety of residential locations. Well, joining us now to tell us a little bit more about Reena is Miss Wendy Bellack-Viner, Reena Board Chair. Ma'am, welcome to Forum Daily.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for joining us. Now, for some further perspective on this, can you tell us a little bit more about the unique challenges that people with developmental disabilities face in our country?
There are a number of challenges. The primary ones are poverty. About 18 to 30% of people who live in homeless shelters have developmental disabilities. Poverty and life expectancy, their average life expectancy is much lower than for the general population, and housing. There is an acute shortage of housing for this segment of our population and a 40-year wait list for appropriate housing.
And how does Reena address these 3 major challenges here?
The main thing that Reena does is provide programming for these individuals that takes a variety of forms: employment training, social programming, cultural programming, and also housing. As you mentioned, Reena operates over 30 group homes plus 2 larger residences that house a number of people, and we are always looking to be able to open more of these homes to give people appropriate homes in the community.
Now, if we look at your website, it says Reena was established as a practical alternative to institutions. So, can you tell us a little bit more about such institutions and how their treatment differs from Reena?
Um, People with developmental disabilities were in the past traditionally housed in institutions outside of the community. They were excluded, they were away from their families, they couldn't participate in general community life. One of the initiatives that was at the start of Reena's existence was bringing these folks back into our communities in residences with appropriate supports, being close to their families, and being able to participate in the community at large.
And what's really interesting is that Reena also provides supports to adults with developmental disabilities. I know it's very easy to think about children when you think about this, but what else is missing in terms of supports for adults in this demographic?
Well, I mentioned employment training. Many of the individuals are able to work somewhat. And so we provide employment training, and obviously the type of social interactions that are appropriate are very important. So we provide programming for a wide variety of social events, whether it's cultural, sports, all types of things. And of course, the housing, as these people get older, they would like to live somewhat independently, and their families would like to see them settled in appropriate homes. So we are very much involved in providing housing options.
Now, considering that Reena is based in Ontario, what about our viewers outside of Ontario watching this right now? What kind of other supports are currently available for children and adults with developmental disabilities nationally or provincially?
Well, Reena is primarily focused on the adult population, but 2 very important initiatives at the federal level are the National Housing Strategy, which has made providing housing for those with developmental disabilities one of its priorities. The government has recognized the need to support housing for this part of our population, and the National Dementia Strategy, which also recognizes the unique needs of people with developmental disabilities. So those are federal initiatives.
All right, Miss Bellack-Viner, just about 30 seconds left here, but how can our Canadian viewers get involved with the work of Reena?
Well, we're very excited that it's celebrating its 50th anniversary this year, as you mentioned. And if people would like to become involved and learn more about Reena, we have a new website, reena50.org, please look at it. You can get more background about our organization, about helping those with developmental disabilities and becoming involved. And we
Right.
look forward to it and welcome all participants.
All right, Reena50.org. Be sure to check that out. Again, Ms. Bellack-Viner, thank you for your time today.
Thank you very much.
Stay with us. Coming up after the break, we'll be turning to the government's major procurement announcement of F-35 fighter jets. Stay tuned.